Good evening once again. We begin in Ecuador. That's where opposition activists in the country have called for a national day of protest against the government of President RAFAEL CORREA. Now, the call has been made by opposition trade unions and by some anti-government members of the indigenous community. The anti-government action is the culmination of a number of actions that have taken place in recent weeks and what the CORREA government is attributing to destabilization attempts by the political opposition that has been unable to win at the polls. Now, while the turnout for demonstrations early this Thursday has been low, more actions are anticipated.
Van a tratar de generar violencia, ¿no? Entonces, esos son los riesgos, porque no tienen.
They will attempt to generate violence because they have no other option. They have no popular support and they know that. If elections were tomorrow, they would lose. And that is why they are trying to block the elections of 2017. They know they will lose 3-1 if elections were tomorrow. They have no popular support, nor do they have the law on their side. But they want to overthrow a president because they don't like him.
Ecuador's Foreign Minister Ricardo Patiño, in an exclusive interview with teleSUR, also pointed out that the majority of indigenous peoples in Ecuador are not supporting the anti-government protest and that some indigenous organizations have been hijacked, as he said, by an opportunist leadership.
It's lamentable that the indigenous organizations are not listening to the majority, because the majority of the indigenous people of this country are absolutely in agreement and are supporting the national government. It is for this reason that the demonstrations aren't working. Imagine the indigenous population in Ecuador is at least 7 to 8% of the overall population, and they have been launching a massive media campaign. But they have only been able to mobilize 300 to 350 people from the city of Zamora.
And now we go to Pablo Vivanco in Quito for the latest on the opposition marches.
Here we are in the Díaz de Agosto Avenue in front of one of the handful of demonstrations currently taking place around the city as part of the so-called National Day of Action called by opposition groups against the government of RAFAEL CORREA. Here we have an opposition trade union that has been blocking this road for the better part of the day. On the other side of Elegido Park, which is to my right, there's a gathering of people from the Conai indigenous movement, which is also taking part in these opposition actions. Now, these come on the heels of right-wing demonstrations against proposed tax increases by the government of RAFAEL CORREA. The government continues to try to call opposition groups towards dialogue, something which many opposition groups have already said that they're not willing to participate in. Pablo Vivanco, teleSUR,